In this edition of the BCA Club School of the Month, we go to the Alleyne School in Belplain, St. Andrew, a school that has produced many outstanding cricketers. We are excited. This is we. Anthony, this school in the rural parish of St. Andrew has produced many cricketers in the years that I have known of the school. You've spent close to 4 decades at the school as an administrator, coach. I want you to tell me, how was the experience spending 40 years at this institution?
Oh, it was great, man. I had a good time. I felt good. When I retired, I was happy. Look back on it, it was good.
And it's wonderful to be happy, because I remember during the mid-90s that there was a lot of success that the Alleyne School, with the likes of Edison Rock, Andrea Danger, most Evelyn. Can you tell me about that era when you guys did so well?
Oh, well, that was the first time, 93, first time Alleyne School ever won a cricket title. And from there, we had a great time in the 90s. We won in 93, we went to the finals in 94, became first in the zone in 95, we won again in 96, and we went to the under 90 final in 97. So the 90s was really good.
And those two young men that I mentioned, I think that they would have been able to set some records back in those days.
Yeah, Andrea set the record for the most wickets in the tournament. He had 78 in the preliminaries, got 15 in the final, so he ended up with 92 for the season. Edison scored 810 runs, I think, in 5 centuries, and then went into the final and scored another century. So we had a grand time talking the town.
But I can remember the talking the town. This facility, the school, a lot of persons came through the ranks of being what you consider casual cricketers. But can you identify what you would consider the most notable guys that went on to future and higher representation?
Our two West Indies players would be obviously Jonathan Carter. He ended up playing one internationals for the West Indies. A little bit disappointed they didn't give him a taste of Test cricket, but things happen. And the other one would be Carlitos Lopez. He played West Indies B. And then we had a few fellas that played for Barbados.
Jonathan Carter, I heard a story about how he learned how to bat spin. Could you tell me about that?
Oh, that was just a drill we used to do inside the sports hall. When you come, we go inside the sports hall. Not this building. This is a lovely thing that we got in the last decade, but little wooden building. And just softball with a stump, out of your fingers, going either direction. You learn to bat it.
Your story, a person who spent a lot of time at Alleyne School, but I'm sure you had opportunities to work with national youth cricket and youth cricket in Barbados in general. How was that?
Oh, that was fantastic. Based on the success we had in the 90s, I was invited to the second on the 15 regional tournament, because the first one was in 96. I was offered the job as coach in 97, and we won. Unbeaten. We went straight through the tournament, we won in all the matches, so that was fantastic. And from there, I worked with on the 15 team for the next 4 years, up to 2001. Did some under 13 clinics and some developmental clinics. So I had a good run at the national level. Was a selector, part of the cricket development committee, so it was all right.
I know that you wear Alleyne School on your heart, even though you retired quite recently. And I understand that there was a wonderful retirement ceremony held recently, I believe, at the Hilton Hotel.
Yes.
How refreshing and rewarding was that night when you sat there and reflected on your years here?
Well, honestly, when they started talking, I wondered who they were talking about. All the next things to say. So that was really great. You know, you do a job, you go home, and then the monetary returns may not be the greatest, but to at least be acknowledged, and all the colleagues and friends and even some old scholars passed through. So that was fantastic.
I'm going to ask you one of those tricky ones, the support that you would have gotten, not just from the young players, but the administration of the school, whether it would have been the principal, head of the department. How did you find that 4-decade journey in terms of support from within the school?
Actually, I always had good support within the school. You know, every once in a while, as with any professional thing, you would clash with 1 or 2 people, but nothing ever got to the point where there was never any active attempt to stop me from succeeding. So I can say I had the support that I wanted. I had good support, and from the children it was fantastic.
Well, it's been wonderful speaking to you today. We've come down into the rural parish of St. Andrew to speak with a gentleman who spent, some considerable time and quality time here at the school. We want to thank you from the Barbados Cricket Association for what you've done, and we want to wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Jonathan Carter, it's always a pleasure to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Stephen. Great to see you after so many years.
Alleyne School, we're here where you, schoolboy superstar, would have done so well coming up, even from the Herman Griffith. I want to find out from you, when this school laid the foundation, what do you believe were the important things that caused you to be so talented and express yourself at the Alleyne School?
Well, for me, Stephen, there were so many different things that we often bypass in secondary schools. Certain things like socialization. That was a big part of the cricket team while we were here. We used to come here after evening hours, after school hours, sorry, and we used to be in the pavilion sometimes. This is where I learned to play spin. We used the stamp. Guys are flicking the ball out their fingers. You would not know what way it was going, and we used to spend hours here. Sometimes we used to tape half of the ball, and we used to play here on the grass area. That brought your technique into play. Other things, as I said before, socialization. I mean, as a youngster, you cannot, as we say, butt your head into certain things that the bigger persons are doing, and that was basically it, because I had to take my place as a youngster, and that taught me manners and discipline.
Manners and discipline. I spoke recently with Mr. Anthony Headley, and you now play a role in terms of being coach, mentor to others. What will you want to impart on young players who want to reach the heights that you've reached in your career?
Well, I mean, as I said before, all this stuff that I said to you about being in the pavilion, playing cricket, coming out here, playing cricket again until the late hours in the evening, that's commitment. That's as we might not see it, it's still working hard, working on your game, because those little things would teach you to negate the pace and the swing and spin as you go on in your career. I think that the youngsters of today need to work harder, because we have international teams in the world who are working harder than us, and we need to work harder. We need to be encouraged by whosoever is in charge of those youngsters, and we need to stick together and stick by these youngsters. Encouragement is a vital thing these days, because in this short space of time that I've been coaching, Stephen, I've seen guys who just come up to me and started speaking without any thinking and asking me how they would go about this and how they could become a better cricketer. So we need a lot more, I wouldn't say father figures, but we need a lot more coaches who are able to inspire youngsters. And that's how I see myself as a coach.